What if the reason money keeps slipping through your fingers has nothing to do with how hard you work, how smart you are, or how carefully you budget, but everything to do with the way you relate to money at an energetic level? What if wealth isn't something you chase, earn, or wait to be chosen for, but something you decide to become available for? In Rich as Fuck, Amanda Frances argues that money responds to you, your beliefs, your expectations, your emotional state, far more than it responds to effort alone. This book is not about spreadsheets or penny pinching. It's about identity, power, and rewriting the invisible rules that govern your financial life. In this video, we'll walk through every chapter of Rich as Fuck and explore how Amanda reframes money, worthiness, debt, saving, earning, and what it truly means to live a wealthy life. Amanda Frances opens the book with a deeply personal story that sets the tone for everything that follows. She recalls a period in her life when she regularly snuck into luxury hotel pools in Dallas, not because she was reckless, but because she was intentionally placing herself in environments that reflected the life she knew she was meant to live. At the time, she was supporting herself through her coaching business, carrying massive student loan debt, and operating on a tight budget. Yet she intuitively understood that proximity to wealth changes perception. Her financial limitations, she explains, were not rooted in her bank balance, but in her beliefs about who she was allowed to be. From leaving a religious cult, working multiple jobs, and putting herself through graduate school, to building a multi-million-dollar coaching business, Amanda frames her journey as one of internal transformation before external results. She describes making a sincere prayer to learn how to earn and receive money, and to teach other women to do the same. The book, she explains, is the fulfillment of that promise. It is not just about making money, but about healing one's relationship with it and becoming a person who can hold, circulate, and trust wealth. Chapter 1: The Energy of Money. Amanda Frances begins by establishing the core foundation of the book. Money is energy, and it responds to the energetic state of the person interacting with it. She explains that money is not logical, moral, or emotional. It does not reward hard work, punish mistakes, or favor certain people. Instead, money responds to beliefs, expectations, emotions, and habitual ways of thinking. This is why two people with the same education, background, or job can have radically different financial realities. She shares how growing up in a lower middle-class household exposed her to constant fear around money. While basic needs were met, there was an underlying anxiety about bills, spending, and scarcity. Over time, that anxiety became internalized as identity. Yet, as a child, she also noticed something distinct about people who had money: ease. They did not tense up around spending, decisions, or possibility. That ease, she later realized, was energetic. Amanda explains that many commonly taught smart money habits are actually rooted in fear and restriction. While responsibility has its place, operating from constant lack creates cycles where money comes in and immediately disappears. She introduces the idea that abundance and restriction are opposing frequencies. To experience overflow, one must learn to embody the energy of trust, worthiness, and expectation. The chapter emphasizes that your past does not dictate your future. No matter where you came from, what you were taught, or how money has behaved in your life before, you can change your relationship with it. The first step is becoming open to seeing money differently and recognizing that your internal state plays a far greater role than external circumstances. Chapter 2: Stop Waiting on God, or a Man or Your Next Client. In the second chapter, Amanda challenges the idea that money arrives through external permission or rescue. Many people, especially spiritually inclined individuals, believe that if they are patient, good, or deserving enough, money will eventually arrive through divine intervention, a partner, or a lucky opportunity. Amanda firmly rejects this passive approach. While she acknowledges spirituality and faith, she emphasizes co-creation. Humans are not meant to wait, they are meant to decide. Financial change begins the moment someone decides they are worthy and capable of creating more. Waiting keeps people stuck in powerlessness, reinforcing the belief that money is controlled by forces outside themselves. Amanda introduces the importance of releasing attachment to the past. Past mistakes, debt, failures, or upbringing do not have authority unless you give it to them. The past only holds power when it becomes identity. By choosing new meanings and interpretations, people can free themselves from cycles that no longer serve them. This chapter centers on reclaiming personal power. Life, money, and success respond to internal decisions. Once someone stops waiting to be chosen and starts choosing themselves, their financial reality begins to shift. Chapter 3. There is no such thing as a fixed income. Here, Amanda dismantles the belief that income has a ceiling. She explains that income appears fixed only because belief systems are fixed. When people believe money can come only from specific sources, jobs, hours worked, or particular clients, money complies with those limits. Amanda shares her own transition from earning money through hourly coaching to building scalable income through digital programs. This shift was not just strategic, but psychological. She had to believe that money could arrive without her constant effort. Once that belief changed, opportunities expanded. She emphasizes that money is always moving in the world. People are spending, investing, and paying others constantly. When someone opens their mind to new channels and possibilities, they allow themselves to receive from that flow. The chapter reinforces that growth requires expanding expectation. When you expect more to be possible, you begin to notice opportunities that were always present but previously invisible. Chapter 4. What to do when it looks like it's not working. Amanda acknowledges that transformation often feels uncomfortable before it feels successful. When people begin shifting beliefs and behaviors around money, old fears tend to surface. This can create the illusion that nothing is changing, even when deep internal work is underway. She explains that many people sabotage progress by reacting emotionally to temporary setbacks. Panic, doubt, and self-criticism reinforce scarcity. Instead, Amanda encourages consistency, trust, and emotional regulation during periods of perceived stagnation. This chapter teaches patience without passivity, staying grounded, maintaining standards, and continuing aligned action, even when results are not immediately visible, is essential. Energetic shifts often precede physical outcomes, and giving up too soon resets old patterns. Chapter 5. Circulating money. In this chapter, Amanda Francis introduces a crucial shift in how money is meant to function in our lives. Money is designed to move. According to her, many people struggle financially not because they don't earn enough, but because their relationship with money is rooted in fear, control, and stagnation. When money is treated as something to cling to, protect obsessively, or hide away, it reflects a deep lack of trust, and that lack of trust is felt energetically. Amanda explains that circulation is a signal. How you spend, save, invest, and give communicates your belief about whether more money is available to you. When money moves from a place of confidence and self-trust, it tells the subconscious mind and the energetic field that you are supported. This is not about reckless spending or financial irresponsibility. Instead, it's about releasing the belief that holding tightly to money is what keeps you safe. She reframes generosity and spending as acts of alignment rather than sacrifice. When money is circulated intentionally through purchases that support your life, investments that expand your future, or contributions that reflect your values, it stays in motion. And money in motion, she argues, returns. The core lesson of this chapter is that money cannot multiply when it is frozen in fear. It multiplies when it flows through a person who trusts herself to receive more. Chapter 6. Get comfortable with the cash money. Here, Amanda turns her attention to discomfort around money itself. She points out that many people subconsciously repel wealth because large sums of money feel unfamiliar, overwhelming, or even unsafe. If your nervous system associates money with stress, guilt, or danger, it will resist having more of it, no matter how much you consciously desire wealth. Amanda emphasizes the importance of normalizing money internally. This means becoming comfortable seeing money, talking about money, handling money, and expecting money. Wealth, she explains, is not just about what you earn, but about what you can emotionally and energetically hold. If you feel uneasy checking your bank account, receiving a large payment, or spending without anxiety, those reactions reveal inner limits that need to be addressed. She encourages readers to gently stretch their comfort zone with money, allowing themselves to experience higher levels of abundance without immediately sabotaging it. This chapter reinforces the idea that wealth must feel safe in your body before it can become consistent in your life. Chapter 7. Debt is not the devil and saving is hot AF. Amanda challenges two deeply ingrained beliefs in this chapter: that debt is shameful and that saving must be restrictive. She explains that debt, like money itself, is neutral. It only becomes harmful when it is loaded with guilt, fear, and self-judgment. Shame keeps people trapped in cycles of avoidance, denial, and panic, making debt feel heavier and harder to resolve. Rather than condemning debt, Amanda invites readers to acknowledge it without self-attack. She explains that many people went into debt while trying to survive, grow, learn, or improve their lives, and that does not make them irresponsible or broken. When debt is approached with self-respect and calm intention, it becomes manageable. On the topic of saving, Amanda reframes it as an act of self-trust rather than deprivation. Saving should feel expansive, empowering, and supportive, not like punishment or fear-based hoarding. True wealth, she explains, is not choosing between spending and saving, but having enough to do both comfortably. The goal is overflow, not constant restraint. Chapter 8. Next-level wealth practices. This chapter moves into what Amanda calls advanced wealth embodiment. Once the basics of mindset, circulation, and comfort are established, the next level of wealth is governed by standards. Wealthy individuals, she explains, have internal expectations about how life and money work for them, and they do not negotiate those standards with fear. Amanda discusses boundaries, self-respect, and energetic responsibility. Wealth is maintained not just by attracting money, but by refusing to tolerate situations, relationships, and patterns that drain energy and resources. Saying no, raising standards, and choosing alignment become wealth practices in themselves. She emphasizes that next-level wealth is less about doing more and more about being different. As identity shifts, external reality follows. Money begins to respond to a stronger sense of self-worth, clarity, and expectation. Chapter 9. Business Lies and Standards. In this chapter, Amanda dismantles popular myths around hustle culture and success. One of the biggest lies, she explains, is the belief that exhaustion equals effectiveness. Many people believe they must suffer, overwork, and burn out in order to deserve financial success. Amanda argues that exhaustion is not a badge of honor, it is often a sign of misalignment. Wealthy systems are built on strategy, leverage, and clarity, not constant strain. She encourages readers to question narratives that glorify struggle and to design their work and businesses in ways that support ease and sustainability. Standards again play a central role. When you raise your standards for how you work, who you work with, and what you accept, your financial reality changes. Money responds to self-respect just as strongly as it responds to effort. Chapter 10. Being a rich person plus being a good person. This chapter addresses one of the most emotionally charged money beliefs, the idea that wealth corrupts character. Amanda firmly rejects the notion that being rich makes someone greedy, selfish, or immoral. Instead, she explains that money amplifies who a person already is. In the hands of fearful or unethical people, money magnifies those traits. But in the hands of grounded, generous, and values-driven individuals, money becomes a tool for impact. Amanda shares that wealth has allowed her to support family, donate generously, invest in causes she believes in, and create meaningful change. The underlying message is that good-hearted people becoming wealthy is not a problem, it is a necessity. The world benefits when money flows toward those who use it consciously and compassionately. Chapter 11. Rich as fuck. In the final chapter, Amanda brings all the teachings together into one defining concept. Being rich as fuck is an identity, not a number. It is a way of moving through life with confidence, expectation, and self-trust. Wealth is no longer something to chase or justify, it becomes the natural outcome of alignment. She explains that true wealth means refusing to shrink desires, apologizing for success, or living in constant self-doubt. It means trusting yourself with money, power, and responsibility. Being rich as fuck is not about excess for its own sake. It is about freedom, choice, and living unapologetically in your fullest expression. Amanda closes this section by reinforcing that money responds to who you are being. When you embody worthiness, trust, and clarity, money follows naturally. Wealth, in her philosophy, is not earned through suffering, it is allowed through alignment. Rich as Fuck is not a book about money mechanics, it's a book about permission. Permission to want more, to trust yourself, and to stop shrinking your desires to fit outdated beliefs. Amanda Frances reminds us that money responds to who we are being, not who we are trying to prove ourselves to be. When you change your relationship with money, money changes its relationship with you.